Ladies and gentlemen, we are live for day 2 of Schoolscape. A big welcome from myself and Kev, who's on screen with me. Hello, Kev. And I'm also going to invite John. John, if you want to pop your video on, and then we can see you. Yesterday was an incredible day. It's amazing. I was just checking. There's John. Hello, John. Welcome. I'm going to do a proper intro for you now. I was just checking on the stats. 751 attendees have downloaded the mobile app. Our attendance is now actually full. So we're actually asking people who can't attend now to actually let us know so that we can remove them to make space for others, because yesterday it went a little bit viral, which is great. So big news for today is we've had a nice curveball. I think any teacher and anyone in tech will understand this. Our speaker for today was rushed to hospital. So our thoughts are with Rob, that's our teacher speaker. But we are very lucky to have tomorrow's speakers coming live. So that's Jenna and Jenna are going to be live. And the good news is we will still be doing Rob's session tomorrow on Google Tour Builder. We will just have a different speaker. So we've been doing a little bit of running around, getting everything in place, but we're in for an action-packed day. Kev, welcome on stage. What were your highlights from yesterday?
Thanks, Pete. Good afternoon, everybody. Highlights from yesterday or to this morning session?
Either or.
Actually, yesterday, this morning session was actually quite cool as well. The one from yesterday, we had a guest speaker. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Is it Gillian Aronsa?
Yes.
He was awesome. The message that he had for teachers is really good. I really enjoyed the message. And then Pierre, the magician that you had on, was good fun. I really enjoyed him. And then the chat.
Yeah. We've got him again today.
That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, he was really good. I really enjoyed him. And then the round tables at the end. So after everything, after we watched the session, where we had everybody talking, the teachers talking and chatting to one another, I really enjoyed that.
Awesome, cool. We've got more round tables today. So as we go through today's agenda, a bit later on, we will share. But I want to hand across to Jean. So Jean is from Snapplify. He is a teacher. He's well known for a couple of other brands like Teacher and Ornies. But he's now representing Snapplify, and I think if there's anyone in the education edtech space doing some amazing stuff, it is Snapplify, and they are our main sponsor for this track. So if it wasn't for them, this would not be happening. Their generosity is allowing all of our viewers and teachers, etc., to come in for free. So Jean, a big thank you from our side, and maybe if you just want to share why Snapplify is involved in the event, and I believe you got some cool prizes.
Yes, cool. I will do that. So Snapplify is really happy to be involved in this event. Our mission and goal is to get schools to become digitally enabled, and this is very well aligned with that. So we are also speaking to teachers. We're engaging with teachers. It's been a really amazing experience so far to be. Since events aren't taking place anywhere, how do you actually go and engage with teachers without doing something like this? So it's been really cool. And this event with our partners also, we have Promethean here, we have Oxford University Press here also, and we've all joined forces to showcase what our solutions can do together and what that means for a school and a teacher. So really excited about that.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I heard you got a couple of nice prizes for teachers.
Yes, so we've got 10 vouchers to give away to teachers, and that's book vouchers or any content actually that you would like to purchase from the Snapplify shop. And we've got 10 300 vouchers, and we're giving away one right now. And that winner, drum roll, is Marlies Ferrara from Alta de Toy School. So we'll be in touch to get you that 300 Rand voucher that you can spend on anything you want to on the Snapplify store. So very cool.
Brilliant. John, we love giving away prizes, so thank you for that. We'll give away a couple of other prizes also later in the show. We have some take-loft vouchers up for grabs today. But what I'd like to do without a further ado is we had to kind of change our schedule a bit today, just to go a bit earlier to fit in Jenna and Jenna. Jen and Jenna very kindly jumped in at last minute because of Rob being rushed to hospital. The good news is it looks like Rob, who was presenting, is stable. It's fine. I spoke to his wife, so he is all okay. So we don't need to be worried about him. But I'm going to hand over to Jean. So Jean is actually going to host, he's going to intro our next two speakers and host the session. So it's always nice when you have a partner for an event that actually gets involved. So Jean, Kevin and I are going to drop off screen and the floor is yours.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. So the session is really exciting. We've got Jenna and Jenna, as Pete just mentioned, and Jenna Swano, Jenna Reva. They are from the Dyser Primary School in Hout Bay, and they've got some excellent tips and to showcase today. The nice thing is that the solution that they are going to showcase today, you can literally implement tomorrow in your class. So it's easy to use, and yes, I'm very excited to have Jenna and Jenna here. So if I can invite Jenna and Jenna to come on board. Let me just...
There we go, Jean. They are viewing. There they are.
Yay, there they are. Hi, Jenna and Jenna.
Hi.
So nice to have you here. So maybe just give a quick introduction of yourselves, and then we can learn more about your innovative ways of teaching.
So I'm Jenna Reva. I am a grade 5 teacher at Dyser Primary, and I'm the English subject planner. My background is a bit of high school teaching, and English and history are definitely my top favorite subjects, and so my specialization and interest is very much language focused. Yeah.
I'm Jenna Swano. I started as a high school teacher, we actually both did, and we're now primary school teachers, and so yeah, I have the same specializations and interests really as Jenna, just maths included, and really excited for the session today.
Me too. Thank you so much.
Cool, do we get started?
Yeah, Jenna, you can start. I believe you're going to tell us a bit more about your school and about your setting and how that influences your teaching.
Fantastic, thanks. So we are talking today about giving students a voice with Adobe Spark. That's our choice of app that we want to share with everyone today. Just a very quick snippet. This is what our school looks like. It's in the most beautiful setting in Hout Bay. It's a privately funded school, so we're incredibly well resourced. We have an amazing internet connection. Our kids all have devices at school, but our learners, it is still a non-fee paying school. Our learners all come from Imizamuyetu and Hungbach. So one of our challenges is, of course, the fact that they don't have data or connectivity at home, and most of them only really have one smartphone in the household, which is only semi-functional. So yeah, that's Jen and I sort of in the classroom. We had some learners create stop animation films last year to enter the Excellence in Education Awards. I think it's an Apple product. So yeah, and some kids on iPads. So that's sort of just our background and our setting. And so with learners who come from homes where English isn't the first language, it is spoken, but it's a very broken form of the language. We found it's a huge challenge getting our learners to present orals confidently, and orals are a huge component in assessment for English, as well as if we think down the line, it's a massive percentage of their mark in their final year in matric. So we really wanted to find a way to get kids to grow slowly and confidently in how they present their work orally. Jenna actually was the one who found Adobe Spark Video. It used to be called Adobe Voice, and we have used it for a variety of different things, which Jenna will get into. But what we love about it is children can basically plug in earphones, record short segments of themselves talking, and play it back to themselves. So they can also submit their work via Google Classroom, which means they can listen to each other's work and they can work collaboratively. So I'm going to show you a quick snippet of something that one of our children made. It was a poetry recital assessment. And the fact that they could submit this online instead of having to stand at the front of the class and present to their class just meant that all the anxiety was taken away. Our children who are normally shy just shone through with confidence. They modulated their voice, they played around with accents, and they could really just let go of it. So we just find it's a nice way to ease them in to oral presentations. So here we go.
Mystic Imagination Night by Patricia Suslow. On one mystic magic night, jack-o'-lanterns glowing bright, kids with bags of candy sweets roam door to door and street to street, all dressed up for trick or treat. Wizards with wands, pirates with hooks, monsters and clowns with spooky looks. Kings and queens with capes and crowns, and princess in her royal gown. Witches with warts, and fairies with wings, movie stars with sparkly rings. Vampires with fangs that bite, ghosts that boo, all dressed in white. Imaginations taken flight on that one mystic magic night. Oh, the fun of Halloween, be young or old, or in between.
So you've had a bit of a change in face here. So thanks to Jen for introducing us to Adobe Spark. That for me is such a lovely video because it is a student who is usually quite reserved, quite quiet, doesn't necessarily like speaking out in public, but it has been given an opportunity to do her poetry recital in a way that she's able to record slowly and in segments, as Jane mentioned earlier. So we really love the Adobe Spark video tool for that. And if you haven't come across it before, I really encourage you to have a look in your app store. It's the best part of all of this is that it's free. It's an absolutely free download. So you can download the Adobe Spark video app, and it's available in the Google Play and the iOS, the Apple App Store. And it's a free thing to download, and you just need to set it up with, you can sign in with a Google account, or you can create an Adobe account for free. And it's really user-friendly and just absolutely great from there. In our school, we're obviously a primary school, so we work from grade R right up until grade 7. And we find that our foundation phase students can really use this app very easily because it is just so simple to use. And our grade 5s really enjoy it. And by the time they get to us, they know a lot, so we don't have to teach them too much about how it works. The layout of Adobe Spark Video is very similar to something like Google Slides or PowerPoint, like Microsoft PowerPoint. So what you'll find when you open up the app is that there are different screens, and the different screens allow you to add text, images, icons, things that you can find in the app itself. So you don't need to go and find pictures on Safari. You don't have to take a video of yourself. You don't have to sort of take videos around of other things, which we find often hinders students when it comes to creating their own video. The content is really easily findable. There's my English teacher verb of the day, or adjective of the day. It's really findable. I'm so sorry about this. I would imagine that all the teachers watching are used to an intercom. The school is closed, so one wonders why we have an intercom going at the moment, but this is our day. So you're getting a very real experience right now. So as I was saying, the content is really easily searchable, better word, in the Adobe Spark video app. And you can find images, like you can do a Google image search within the app. Beautifully, it brings up images that are labeled for reuse. So we can immediately start teaching our learners about, creative license and how we shouldn't be taking work from other people without crediting them. And you can also search for icons, and the icons are built into the Adobe Spark video app. And you can search for icons to add to your video, and that really opens up this huge realm of possibilities. You can see in the video that we showed you earlier that this learner had chosen specific icons to suit specific lines of the poem. So not only is she doing a poetry recital where we're testing her oral ability and her pronunciation and her tempo, we're also sort of testing understanding, because is she finding an icon that matches what she's saying in the poem? So does she actually understand what she's reading? And that is obviously a crucial part of English teaching and of poetry. So the way that the app is set out, as I was saying, is more of a presentation style. So it's quite simple for students to do, because most of our students are familiar with the sort of PowerPoints and Google Slides. And so this is just one step further, but it is a very powerful step because it's adding voice. So Adobe Spark Video will allow students to set up a series of basically slides using slide templates within the app with titles and text and icons and images. And students can add all those elements within the app and slide by slide set up their whole slideshow, and then they add their voice. And the voice recording part of Adobe Spark Video is what makes it so powerful. It's incredibly user-friendly. It's a case of pressing the microphone button that is very visible at the bottom of the screen and holding it down until you want to stop speaking. And the app will give you prompts throughout the creation of the video talking about best practice. You don't want to drone on for a minute and a half. Keep what you're saying short. And so it'll actually prompt students in between to make sure that they're adding enough visual. So the irony, of course, being that here I am monologuing about Adobe Spark, and so here we are actually in a long session of talking. But it is just such a powerful video creation tool, and I really encourage you to have a look and see if you can download it from the App Store and get using it. Unfortunately, it's not available on Chromebooks at the moment, so I know that there are Chromebooks schools, but definitely any iOS device, Android device, it is available there. So once you've got the app and you're looking at sort of how you're going to use it in your classroom, you might be thinking, well, that's great, but I'm not an English teacher, so, or my children don't do poetry recitals. I know that us teachers are quite a creative bunch, so I know that I'm hoping that immediately in your mind, you're sort of starting to think of project ideas and how you can incorporate this into your classroom. But basically anywhere where you're wanting your students to have a voice, where you're wanting them to do a presentation of some kind, this tool is really useful. So, and it is a free to use tool. So really, I joke and I say, I don't make anything from Adobe Spark on this, obviously. It's not like I'm selling a tool. It's just something that we feel very passionately about because we've seen it in the classroom. We've seen it used properly. And some of the ways that we've used it has been in a natural sciences lesson. We've asked students to do research on a particular animal, for example, if we're doing vertebrates and invertebrates. And students will do that research and create their different slides. And we can give them quite a lot of structure, or we can give them quite a lot of freedom. So we might say to them, we want your first slide to describe the look of the animal, and then we want the next one to talk about the habitat, and then we want you to talk about whether it is a vertebrate or invertebrate and sort of what its diet is like. And so we can give that structure to learners, and they're able to create that video in a very structured way, add all their images, add all their text, and then go and record sound afterwards. So that's one way of using it, would be an NST presentation. Really, any content presentation is absolutely great. And, any content subject, history, geography, anything where you'd like students maybe to research and then do a presentation on it. Another way that we've used it in the class is for students to create public service announcements. So that is something that is not as structured necessarily. So we might have a topic, there might be something that's happening in the community. So obviously the big thing last year, and potentially more so the year before, is water, and how we can use water more consciously and making sure that we're not wasting water. So we had our students create public service announcement videos in sort of giving information to the community, to their families, about how they can use water more efficiently at home. And that is that project-based learning that seems to be the buzzword at the moment, and sort of the latest, greatest sort of education innovation. And it's a way for students to work in, obviously they're not only using Spark Video, they're also researching, they're maybe creating presentations, posters, etc. But it's a way to bring everything together. So everything that we've studied together, everything that we've learned, to bring it together into one space and create a video that's not very long, maybe a minute and a half, but then is easily shareable. So another thing that we've loved about Adobe Spark Video is that, sharing options are very easy. You can share to the web, you can give a web link, you can download the file, email it, add it to Google Classroom, add it to YouTube. So there are a lot of different ways that you can incorporate that app and incorporate the tool into your classroom and really get that feedback back from your students. So you might have students submitting on Google Classroom, and then you might be sharing those videos with the rest of the class, or you might have a shared Google Drive where students can upload their videos, and other students in the class can watch them and comment on them. If you really want to be like next level teacher, you could always upload these videos to YouTube and create QR codes and links that allow students to access other videos. So it's not just the app itself, it's the reach beyond the app. And that's just really fantastic, and one of the reasons we love the tool. We've recently been working, Jenna and I have been working alongside Learning Curve recently. And Learning Curve is a company that they actually have a Lion's Den session tomorrow, but they are the Apple suppliers, sorry, not the Apple, the Adobe suppliers within Africa. And they are very kindly offered to present free webinars on how one can use Adobe Spark in the classroom. And again, I think as a teacher, when I go to these sort of sessions and webinars and things like that, I think to myself, well, yeah, but you're selling a product, so obviously you're excited about it, and obviously you want it, you want to use it in the class. But this is not something that anyone's really making money off of. Adobe Spark is a free tool, and that's just, absolutely great to have in the classroom. I see, Jean, you've switched your camera on. I don't know if you want to pop in there.
Oh, no, I just want to say that's really cool, and I love what you've done so far. It's really amazing. I also, I think just one thing to mention, you said that it's not on a Android device, but you can use it in a browser though. There's different say you have a Chromebook or something like that, then you can still use that. Ooh.
Yes, and in fact, I think the web browser is much more advanced. I think there are a few more templates and a few more styles and that kind of thing available. So for our learners who come to school with very limited tech ability, the iPad is very simple, it's very intuitive, and they can learn how to navigate the app very quickly. Whereas at another school where you have learners who've been playing on devices from a very young age, I think the web browser might be a little bit more interesting for them. They have a little bit more to choose from.
Oh dear.
I think we have lost Jean. Jean, are you there? Nope. You are frozen.
I'm
and you are in disco.
Yeah.
Okay, Jean, I'm just going to jump in and ask some questions. Jenna and Jenna, I think one of the things we're picking up from comments is you obviously are in, masks are off. Your social distancing has been really good. Just don't sneeze on each other. I know you are in a school that is kind of a top-end school catering for people that wouldn't normally be able to go to a top-end school. How are you engaging them with technology, and what is the response of these kind of learners with the technology that they might not have access to at home?
So I think we really had to strike a very healthy balance of traditional work engaging with them, in a way that is efficient for them in terms of time and meeting curriculum demands. And at the same time, we really do need to build up competency, and the children are always excited. They are the most excited when they find out iPads are being used in the lesson. And it's still kind of this interesting time where iPads can still be seen as a toy by them, and to get them to focus can be tricky. So something I think Jenna mentioned during her presentation with Adobe Spark is you can use icons with text, and we found that it kind of locks in their focus because they can't go and explore a million images on Google Images. They have to choose an icon. So our main thing is choosing appropriate technology apps and making sure that whatever we do is purposeful and not just for the sake of getting the iPad out because the kids are interested in playing on the iPad. Add to that.
John, do you want to jump in with the next question?
I'm back. Okay. Cool. Yes. So yes, definitely. I missed the part now where you explained why you should use the different, or not really use it on an Android device, and that you can use it on a in a browser. But when I used it with my kids also, they used Chromebooks, and it was very easy to use without having to download the app first or get it installed with the app store and everything like that. And as you mentioned, how it just integrates with all of the different platforms. So, for example, being a Google School, then you can upload it to Google Classroom immediately. They hand it in like that. And we did some cool stuff where they had to add little
all right, John,
do a little pitch also and explain why their project is the best, and the layout that it gives you for the different slides, as you mentioned, it's just like, it's really, really cool because it says, describe something.
Jean, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you there. You're coming through like RoboCop at the moment. So let me, I'm going to just jump in and ask the ladies another question. Maybe drop your video, Jean, and then just go on audio. We might be able to hear you better. Jenna,
Okay.
Jean was talking about how you can integrate it with different technology. And I know you've briefly mentioned that. if maybe I want to take it from a different approach. If there's a teacher out there that has never ever used it before, it's a free tool, so they just need to go and get it. So 2 questions: how do they get it, and how do they practically? What is like a first step that they could do to use it?
Cool. Good question. So, I think your first step would be to decide what device you're going to use it on. And if, as John mentioned, if you're on a Chromebook or something like that, you'll just want to search in the web browser. The easiest sort of starting point would be an app store. So, if you have a smartphone or you have a tablet, you would start in your app store and you'd search for Adobe Spark Video. And then that will sort of give you the prompt to download the app for free. And from there, Adobe actually has a few sort of templates that you can start playing with in the beginning, and sort of template ideas. So depending on the type of video that you're wanting to make, you could start with one of those templates, and that it will guide you through. So, there might be a story template, and it will guide you through the stages of telling your story. And so I would, I'm a firm believer in get in there and play with it. So I would say that your first step would be to get in there and play with it. And if you want something that's more structured, you could always go with the route of, you write a bit of a script. That was my introduction to Adobe Spark Video, actually, was to create a promotional video for our school. And I wrote a bit of a script, and I had some images that I wanted to go with that script, and I put those images in, and then I hit the record button. Nowadays, I'm much more comfortable sort of just winging it, but it was a nice sort of introduction.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yes, other Jenna. It's so easy. I can't get anyone's name wrong. It's Jenna or Jenna. Yes, Jenna. And actually, Jean is so close to Jenna or Jenna. It makes it easier. Okay, Jenna, over to you.
We get it a lot.
So, full disclosure, I can say that I had gone into a lesson without preparing adequately, as teachers never do anything on the fly, and assumed the kids knew everything about this app. And they opened it up, and it was easy enough for me to go in completely blind and navigate through the app. It's not very technical in terms of how many menus there are, how many tools there are within the app. So you can literally download and play immediately. The only thing I can say is you have to create an Adobe account, and you have to be 18. So we had to tell our children to choose their birth year as though they were at least 18 years old. So,
okay. All right. So obviously Adobe doesn't mind that if they're allowing you to do that. That gets around it. Jean, let's see if we can hear you from the background.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me? I hope this is
Yes.
better now.
Yes,
Okay, so I think also to add to Jenna's last question, other Jenna, with the 18-year-old thing, when a school, there's an educational option also, so a school can register for it, and then it you don't need to do that whole thing of lying about your age or whatever. So yeah, it's very cool.
Okay, cool. Jean, do you have a last question for Jenna and Jenna?
Not really. I think they answered everything very well, and it's very exciting. And I'm glad that teachers can use this tomorrow in their lessons. That's really how easy it is. And this is the first thing that teachers should actually use if they want to try something out. Doesn't matter how much you've used technology before in your lesson. So yeah, definitely. And also just to mention that Jenna Swana, in our last teacher magazine, she also wrote a very cool article about teaching at home and at school at the same time. And so teachers should really go and look at it. The magazine is in the teacher booth also. So, and her experience of teaching during this time.
Cool. So for those, if you hop onto the exhibitor tab, search for teacher, Teacha, and then you'll be able to pick up on that magazine. Maybe one last question then for one of the Jennas, and you've got 30 seconds. If you could share one tip to encourage a teacher out there. I think teachers have been going through tough times with very, very limited holidays. What is one thing that you would just share as an encouragement for all of our teachers?
In 30 seconds.
Yeah, you haven't got 30. It's got to be good.
I think for me, the biggest thing is just to hold on to your why. Why did you get into teaching? Why did you do it in the first place? The two of us, we were young when we first started studying, and we said we want to change the world, and very ambitious. But working where we do on your hardest day, you look at your most desperate child, you remember your why, and you can push through.
Brilliant. Ladies, you have been absolutely amazing. I know you have a roundtable discussion, I think, set for tomorrow. Is that correct? Brilliant. So everyone on the kind of community tab, there's meetups. You can look for Jenna and Jenna there and join their session. And they'll be able to, you can then connect with them more personally. The meetups work like more of a discussion. So ladies, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate your time today. Thank you for joining us and also jumping in at the last minute. We really appreciate it. All right. Cheers, Jenna and Jenna.
Cheers.
You can drop off screen now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move forward with the schedule. What I'm going to do is I'm going to invite Jean. Do you want to try pop back on? Let's see if your video is up and working. There we go. Jean, you are, yeah, that looks better. Cool. And Kevin's there. So I think from now, what we would like to do is, Jean, I'd like to just hand over to yourself, and I'm not sure if Steve is there at the moment. I cannot see him. I've got a, nope, I've got a Jacqueline's waiting. That's not linked to you, no?
It's fine, don't worry.
Okay. Cool. So, Jean, we just wanted to give you time as the main sponsor from Snapplify. We know Snapplify is up to some really incredible stuff that can really, really help teachers. And I know you've got free options. You've got a variety of stuff out there. It seems today there's lots of free things going around, which is very cool. So maybe the stage is yours. If you would just like to share what you are up to. If you lose signal, don't worry, I will jump back in.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. I just want to share the screen, and I hope you can see that now.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, awesome. So thank you very much, Peter. Yes, so today, instead of just talking about everything that Snapplify does, I decided to come and talk to you as a teacher and to describe to you what Snapplify does for teachers. So just a quick introduction, Snapplify is a marketplace for educational solutions, not just content. So it's not just textbooks, also hardware, everything you need basically to be digitally enabled in your school. And as I've mentioned before, Teacher and One is Online, as you can see, the brands are also there to support teachers in teachers in different ways. So I thought, let me just show you a quick video of Snapplify in action. So I know as a teacher and my experience of ending or my last few days as a teacher was quite hectic, actually. I was at Herzliya in Cape Town, and one of the first cases were actually reported at the school, and we had to close down, and all of a sudden everything had to change. So that feels like years ago already. But when I watched this video about Snapplify, that I also get so emotional, because I was like, oh my goodness, can't things just go back to how it was? Like, seeing kids engage in the class, and yeah, just like, it feels so long ago. But yeah, we are coping with our new normal, and the video showcases what Snapplify can do even in the future then and now during lockdown. So take a look.
I want to be a pilot.
I'd like to do quantum physics and astronomy.
I'm thinking of becoming a pediatrician. I want to be a teacher.
I'm not quite sure yet.
Oakley House is a school in Cape Town using Snapplify and Google solutions to give their students the competitive edge inside and outside of the classroom. Snapplify Engage provides schools of all sizes with the tools they need to digitally transform their classrooms and seamlessly integrates with other powerful education tools like Google Classroom.
Oakley House is a school for special needs learners. It's for kids who are going to really struggle in the mainstream system.
Technology is part of a tool set that I use to be able to deliver the content in as many ways as possible.
It can help every child differently. Something basic like not being able to see properly, they can zoom into the picture. So I think the technology just makes it a lot easier to, target those needs. I can just say this is important and they can tap on it and it immediately highlights it for them. There's a place where they can make notes. It brings everything together into one device.
Being a Google school and using Google Classroom, those email addresses are already set up. So when we moved over to the Snapplify platform, transferring those email addresses across made life a lot easier using the single sign-on.
In addition to single sign-on, Snapplify also offers Google Directory integration to port users between the platforms with the click of a button.
So being able to log in through Google and then use that same sign-in across into the Snapplify app meant that I didn't have to rewrite all those email addresses again. They can be used on any device, regardless of the operating system. So one of the reasons we've transitioned to the Google Chromebook is the fact that we found that having a full keyboard and having the tablet functionality touchscreen was a major benefit to learners in the high school.
I use the dictating feature in the classroom because I struggle with reading.
It helps me to correct my spelling. It's more efficient. I don't have to carry my books. I can just carry my small device. Last year I broke 2 bags because of my books.
I chose to work at Oakley House because I really wanted to make a difference.
Technology is something that our learners are going to have to face, and it's important that we introduce that at a young age and teach them how to deal with that technology, how to be responsible so that it's not the first time they face it when they enter into the workforce.
I think in this day and age we know that things like critical thinking and independence are things which are so important. It isn't about knowledge anymore. Anything you want to now know, you can go to Google and get. So I think education is now about making people grow to become independent and allowing them to build in confidence so that they can go into the world and they can find their niche out there in the world. That's what it's all about.
Snapplify has been chosen by thousands of schools as a trusted partner in digital education. We're passionate about empowering educators and inspiring students to embrace digital learning from Google Classroom to your classroom with Snapplify.
Okay, awesome. I hope that my internet wasn't a problem in the last few minutes when I showed the video, but that definitely gives you a good overview of what Snapplify does in a class and what it looks like in a classroom situation. So the reason why you might know of Snapplify is because of free access. So during this, at the beginning of the year, when lockdown came into play and everything was just turned around, kids left their books at school, they had their bags at school, everything was just very democrat. And Snapplify worked with their partners to introduce Snapplify free access. And through this program, we have allowed, or we have given access to textbooks to thousands and thousands of teachers, parents, and students so far this year. And we've had many, many schools actually sign up for our e-learning solution. So our e-learning solution, now that you've used free access, perhaps, it actually, there's so much more to it than just the textbooks. And that leads me to Engage. So Snapplify Engage is our e-learning platform, and the top tier of this platform has been allowed or open for free access until the end of this year as well. And Snapplify Engage is your go-to place for everything that you need digitally. So you can find thousands of educational resource materials. There's a library solution for schools, and teachers can upload and share their resources, and kids can then view it on their devices in their Snapplify reader. The library solution, as Steve will talk a bit more about in a session later today, which is very cool, and how that integrates with Literacy Pro, that is the most amazing thing. I just read an article this morning actually about libraries being closed, and that kids don't have access to books at the moment, and that it's so difficult to get books to kids. And this platform and the Snapplify digital library enables learners to have access to books when they may not have access to a library at the moment. Plus, there's thousands of free books also in many different languages in South Africa. And it's not just local content, it's excellent books from all over the world. Because part of Engage, because I'm talking to teachers as a teacher, is Snapplify's teacher benefits program. And of course, teachers love any support that they can get. And as a teacher myself, I would always go for the platform that allows me to get support from them. And Snapplify's version of this is, of course, the teacher benefits program. And for the remainder of this year, we've partnered with the Answer series. The Answer series has made many of their titles available for free only for teachers. So this is not free access, this is teacher benefits. So if you are a teacher and you are signed up to Snapplify Engage, then you will have access to teacher benefits. And this amazing tool is available for you right now. So I know that the Answer series is an amazing tool, and schools really love it, teachers really love it. And I think that just makes your job as a teacher much easier when you have all of these guides to set up your exams or whatever resources you are busy setting up. So that's the other way that we are supporting teachers, through our teacher benefits program. Then, as I mentioned before, teacher and teacher resources. We have a magazine called Teacher Resources. You can find it in the teacher store. It's also available on Snapplify to read for free. And the entire magazine is written by teachers for teachers also. So when the news broke that schools are going to close and that the way that we are teaching is going to change, then immediately we also changed the topic of our magazine, and it changed to a remote learning focus edition. So quickly we got teachers to write for us and to get us some excellent information, all written by teachers for teachers. And the other cool thing is that teachers who upload their resources and share their resources on the teacher marketplace has made that available for free also. Not everything, but a lot of it. And that has supported teachers throughout this year as well. And the great thing about Teacher is, since it's made by teachers for teachers, is that the content has adapted so quickly to what the need is inside of the classroom. So for example, the curriculum changed, there's the amended curriculum, and now the resources that you find online might not necessarily be adapted to that, but teachers are creating their own resources, and it's available on Teacher very quickly. So yeah, our next issue of the Teacher magazine was also focused on school safety and how to teach during the new normal. Or we are all learning together, definitely. Our partners, Promethean, is also here today. And I think when we look at a Promethean board and an active panel, I think you should just throw out any idea that you've had of an interactive whiteboard before and replace that with this amazing tool. Snapplify's tools works seamlessly on the Promethean board, and it just adds and unlocks so much more value for a teacher to teach in this new hybrid model or blended learning, whatever you want to call it, and just assist with that. So if there's another Promethean session, you should really go and check that out and go and see what they have to say and how they are also using Snapplify on the board to use or to teach remotely. Very cool. I was in the previous session today and it was very exciting.
So Jean, sorry, I'm just going to speak over you. They are going to be doing just a quick pitch in our Lions Den pitch in about a half an hour's time. So they will be actually showing so everyone can check it out. And then just to let you know, you're going to have to go to closing remarks because we're at time.
Yes. Okay, cool. So then I just want to also mention another session that our partners, or we are the exclusive provider of Oxford University Press's Zoom in content. And there's the free examples of this is available on Engage. So you can go and check that out. But there's a session tomorrow where this will be showcased also, that you can see that the content that's available on Snapplify is definitely more than your idea maybe of a static ebook and all of the amazing things that can help you to teach that's available online.
Jean, if I can quickly chip in also, just that the Zoom in content is actually still available on the free access offer. So for the teachers that are listening in, it is absolutely, go and get it from free access now while it's still available until the end of the year. And it's fantastic material from FET phase.
Yes. Very cool. Okay, cool. So I quickly just wanted to give you an overview of how we can support teachers, how we are trying to support teachers, and that we value you. And there's some of our sessions on the screen right now that is being hosted. I think I'm disappearing again. I see internet is unstable.
We've got you there. So I'll just jump in, please. Join those roundtable sessions for Jean. You can check those there today. So at the end, we'll promote them again. So those are smaller conversations where you can jump in and in person ask Jean and the team. I just want to pose one last question to close out. Steve, you've been on stage. And I feel like you should say at least something more. So if a school wants to get started with Snapplify, what should they do?
Well, for one, they should just go to snapplify.com and register themselves. So they can register their school for free on, they can just go to snapplify.com and the link is there. And otherwise, they can just get hold of us. They can send an email to help.snapplify.com. They don't have to worry about punctuation or grammar or anything. They just have to reach out and, get in contact with us, say, I want to get registered, and we'll be in touch with them.
Great. So schools, I think, jump on. I know they've got a free level, and there's certain stuff that's free till the end of the year. So it's a good time to play around. Absolutely. There's still 4 months to go. So pop in on that. And then Snapplify, thank you again. It is amazing having a company like you make this event available. And we also just love it that you've got such an incredible tool that is making such a big difference in schools. So thank you. You guys can drop off screen now. We really appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Thanks, Peter.
Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, a day wouldn't be a day with a bit of Peter G, or I think what his parents named him, Pierre here, but stage name Peter G. So he sent us something today, and it's a little bit more inspirational for the first couple of minutes. Then the last minute or two is actually just amazing what he does. So I am going to share my screen, and we're going to allow Peter G to take us away. So give me 1 second as I open this up. Where are you? There he is.
Yo, ek is so bly die gyms is nou weer oop. So happy the gyms are open. I managed to pick up a bit of weight in this lockdown. So I just got off from the gym. And I managed to be a bit successful over this lockdown period. I managed to finish that 28-day diet. My new world record time is I finished the 28-day diet in 4 days time. It's my new record. So yeah, I tried the whiskey diet. I lost 4 days, but Cyril blocked the alcohol. So now we're down to level 2. So it's a privilege to do a bit of comedy and magic videos for Schoolscape. But on a serious note, when it comes to the lockdown time, mental health is so important. And the biggest issue I can tell you today is to work on mental health. Now, the magic behind it is quite simple. We tend to focus on all the negative stuff, but we've got so much to be thankful for. And I want to challenge each of you at home today to think of the positive. Set a 15 to 20 minute goal for yourself every day. I know we're busy, wake up, kids, school, homework, work, get home, make food, sleep. That's a routine. But Robert Kiyosaki said in his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, even if you win the rat race, you're still a rat. So make 15 to 20 minutes time a day for you. Put the children in the bath, get your husband to look after them, get your wife to look after them, and take 20 minutes and do something for yourself. Now, the most important thing in lockdown that I did to keep myself focused was set goals. I still try to train every day. I try to keep my mental health good. So set goals, but a goal is only a goal if you can challenge yourself in the goal. When they asked Forrest Gump, how did he do it? He said, lampo per lampo. So challenge yourself with your goal and make it difficult. Now, I want to explain to you a difficult goal. This is a balloon. Now, it's special balloons. They can stretch this way and that way. Now, the trick with balloons is I believe in safe magic. Now, I was my dad's first trick. And yeah, let's try this goal. I'm going to see if I can blow this up. Woo! That was a goal. Hey, now, I told you must challenge yourself, otherwise a goal is not a goal. Now, it's not possible to swallow this balloon. It is not possible. When you do a goal, if you ask me what is my goal enough, I'll tell you I want a Mercedes AMG 2020 model, black tinted windows, parked in my car in 6 months. Why is that a goal? A, you can measure your goal. B, there's a time frame connected to that goal. And C, it's something you can touch and that you can reach. I mean, I ask people, what's their goal? They'll tell me, I want to be successful. Or I want to be a good mom. Get something tangible and measured. Say, I want to be a good mom because I want to do this, 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 and this. Get a reachable goal. Now, this is my challenge. I'm going to try and swallow this. The most important thing about a goal is how you will end it off. Now, lockdown level is down to level 2. And don't try this at home. Set those goals. Get mental health ready. And do it with a smile on your face. Now, I know your biggest problem is you all thought I was overweight. It is actually balloons. Go back, set those goals. We're almost done with the lockdown.
All right. I would literally love to know how he did that. That just absolutely blows my mind. But I think great points. Just, yeah, certain things just to go for. So that was your magic for today. We know as teachers, you've been making magic happen every single day during this lockdown period. It is now time for me to invite our next guest on stage. So Elizabeth, I am going to find you and invite you on stage. I think you are there. You are coming. When you're on, pop on your video. Then I know you are there. So Elizabeth is actually a speech therapist, a professional, and she's come up with something very, very cool and partnered with Oxford University Press. Elizabeth, I think you should be there. I'm going to hand over to you. I think you're going to do a better job of talking about this. So the floor is yours. I do have a video in the background if you need it, if you have any problems.
Right. Can you see my screen?
We've got your screen. We can see your slide. That's perfect.
Beautiful. And can you see my face? Because I can't see you anymore.
We can still see your face, so please behave.
All right, I'll behave. I promise I won't swallow any balloons. And I've got 10 minutes to speak to you.
Starting now.
All righty. Okay, so as you introduced me, I'm a speech and language therapist, and I'm very excited to talk about the Oxford Reading Safari. And I'd like to see, first of all, is why was this invented? So it's been used for a good 5-6 years now, but Oxford has relaunched it as the Oxford Reading Safari. And about 5-6 years ago, I was experienced as a language and literacy teacher frustration with what was available for older delayed readers. I love working with kids who can't read. But what I was finding that the texts were too long for the frustrated readers, and there were poor links between language and literacy. So what I was looking for was a tool with short, interesting texts that was going to be useful for different subtypes of reading difficulties. I mean, not all reading problems are the same. I was looking for a tool that included the use of errors for teaching. Any good teacher uses errors and teaches from them. Repeated reading, phonics, and vocabulary. A good remedial reading program must have these elements, but repeated reading up to 3 times has been shown to be very, very useful. And of course, as a therapist or a learning support teacher, we've got to help parents to work with their kids, because that little hour or half an hour is not enough. So something with videos to teach the parents, and of course, assessment and tracking, both internally so a kid can actually see how they're doing within a session, and that we can see that process. So who's been served by the Oxford Reading Safari? I work a lot with children who journey with dyslexia. So my colleagues and I have been using it. And some of the comments are, it saves me prep time. And as a busy therapist, I can tell you, I've just come off a therapy session now, and I've just used it. It saves me prep time looking for the right levels. There's so much varied, well-written content. It really saves me time looking for it. So let me talk about a lad, the case of the most marvelous Mr. RM, and how I've been using it with this young chap. He arrived at my office all of 8.5, a bright and creative boy. I'm sure this kid will employ me one day, but he could not read a grade 1 text. He is still journeying with dyslexia. And funnily enough, the Oxford Reading Safari was too difficult for him. So we had to get him to the level where he could get on for this repeated deep training. The Oxford Reading Safari starts off kids who must have a basic grade 2, early grade 2 reading level, about, 4 to 5 sentences. And those sentences can be read very slowly and inaccurately, but a kid, it's not a starting reading scheme. So I had to do all the underlying work for about 4 months, twice a week. Then the ORS became part of his intervention process. Now, I'm a speech and language therapist, so I'm very wary of any program selling magic cures for dyslexia or any kind of disorders. So please, a little aside, beware of programs selling magic cures, but enjoy the magic. All right, so how was the Oxford Reading Safari used by this gorgeous RM? So here is a little copy and paste of part of his summary report. Part of the program is reporting. So after every session, that report is updated. So I'm going to go right to the end of that report because we used it with him for just about 2 years. So R has read 73 passages from the 9th of October 2018 to the 13th of August 2020. So this really is a longitudinal case study. I'm still working with this lad. He's now reading at a grade 4 level, grade 3 level, I think. So the report goes, congratulations for moving up 2 reading levels. We look forward to his continued progress in reading rate. Well done on your consistent reading. Keep it up. So the summary is quite clever because it changes from time to time. So he now really has to work on rate. His accuracy has improved so much. So even the reporting summary and recommendations is tailored. So if I have a look at this young man's progress over, I can't actually see because there's something in front of the top of my screen, but I think is it 18 months? I don't know. Anyway, so I pulled this out last week, 16th of August, 2020. So this is a snapshot with a moving average. All right. So when we started on level 1, which in the Oxford Reading Safari is an early grade 2 level, not a grade 1 level, they need to be reading books with pictures. They need it hands-on. So on an early grade 2 level, which we call level 1, his average first read was 36 words a minute. So if we're looking, actually, when he started, he was reading at 16 words a minute. But in all the level 1 texts, there are about, I think, 42 texts. If we average that out, his average was 36 words a minute. His repeated reading, remember, it's a program that allows for up to 3 repeats of the same text. So his repeated reading, on average, moved up to 58. So we can see that within a session, he's even showing progress. His average first read, the error rate was 7 errors. That's really high. 6% error rate's too high. It could interfere with the understanding or it could create frustration. On his repeated read, his errors come down. So he read all of those texts in level 1, about 42 texts. He then went to level 2, which is a later grade 2. And look at that. On average, he's reading already at 60 words a minute. Ah, that magic number. 80 words a minute. Anything above 80 words a minute, we know that a child is now just really reading more easily and fluently. Error rate coming down. He's now in grade 4, but he's moved up to a level 3 reading, sort of a grade 3 reading level. And already on average, he's reading at 81 words a minute. And his average repeated read is 105. His errors are coming down. But more important than rate, words per minute, and error rate, is comprehension. So this lad is reading faster with fewer errors, but maintaining comprehension. And you can see down here, his average comprehension over all the passages is 95%. This lad is a full box of Smarties. We've got to watch the place for him. Here's a quick snapshot of another little graph that you can pull out. And here we see that the green line, if you had to draw a straight line through that, you see that words per minute, words read per minute is going in the right direction across levels. It's not just that he's staying on the same reading level, he's gone up 2 reading levels. The red should be going down if he has a real accuracy problem. And we can see, so his number of errors is going down in the red line. So if we have a look at a different subtype, so that Mr. R really is a dyslexic learner with accuracy and rate difficulties, good comprehension. Let's look at a completely different case study that I haven't even worked with this child, this young person. This is a person who's a second language learner. Does it help for second language learners? Well, this is the case of fantastic 15-year-old KA. She's an accurate reader with weak comprehension. English is her second language. She's attending an English medium school. She's not cutting it because she can't get the content. All right, she can mechanically read, but she doesn't understand what she's reading. She was mentored by a second language teacher's assistant. because the program has videos to show the mentor how to sit and read with the child. So, or the adolescent for that matter. And if we see her progress, she's read for 15 months. So again, a longitudinal case study. She's read 63 passages. That's a lot of reading. She's gone from level 6, 7 to 8. 8 is the young adult reading. It's really a grade 8 level. So she's gone up those 2 reading levels, and you'll see that basically her rate is pretty fast. It doesn't change that much, 111, 114, there's nothing in it. Her errors are 0. She's mechanically strong. This.
Sorry, Liz, talking in over you. If you can believe it, you're 10 minutes up, but please take a minute just to close up properly.
Absolutely. All right. So I see I've got 30 seconds. So what we see here is a person whose comprehension was low, and basically we see that she's learned 116 new words. So vocab is the issue. It's a win-win. So the reading partners and the readers improve, and motivation is key. Children who cannot read have very weak academic self-esteem. So there's a little a table here saying, I'm increasing my vocabulary, I'm improving comprehension, my confidence is improving, I can read for a longer time, I'm starting to read more for pleasure, and I'm doing better at school on reading comprehension, which is the whole point. So motivation is key, and that's it. Please join us for a video run. For a video run of the program in the roundtable 30-minute session. So thank you very much.
Brilliant. Elizabeth, just looking at those stats, it's absolutely amazing. And I think there's a lot of kids out there that this is a real issue. And just to see that improvement just shows you, I think, the power of technology and a teacher. And what can happen. And I think my encouragement for the teachers out there, you'll know those kids that need help. You'll also just know all the kids, the power of this tool. So please, you can reach out directly to Elizabeth. If you go to the attendee list, you can search for Elizabeth in there, and you can find her, you can message her. You can also pop onto the Oxford University Press exhibitor profile. So click on exhibitor, go into the profile, and you can find them and ask them more questions, and they will get you set up. But Elizabeth, thank you. We really appreciate your time. And thank you for joining us. That's absolutely amazing. And well done for what you've created. It's incredible.
Well, it's teamwork. Thank you very much. Cheers, cool. Peter.
Cheers. All right. I'm going to invite Derek Monowick up on stage. So he is going to come up. While I'm pulling him up, I just wanted to mention, where is Derek gone? Oh, there he is. He's on. Derek, you can turn on your video when you are ready. Just before I invite, or before Derek shares, we have some competitions going. So earlier today, we gave away another 1,000 Rand Take-A-Lot voucher. We've got 2 more up for grabs today, and that is sponsored by Sonic Wall. So first, there is a poll on your phone or on the desktop web version. Look for the word poll. There is a poll there, and that's asking your biggest cybersecurity challenge as a teacher or as a school. If you enter it, you stand a chance to win 1,000 Rand Take-A-Lot voucher. And then also, if you like our page, which is School Advisor on Facebook, we will share the link. If you like our page on School Advisor, you stand a chance to also win 1,000 Rand Take-A-Lot voucher. And those are very kindly donated by Sonic Wall. So thank you, Sonic Wall. But without further ado, I would like to hand across to Derek. Derek is actually, if you can believe it, is personally a friend. I've had the privilege of working with their business before, and they have something really powerful for schools. So Derek, I am going to hand across to you. The floor is yours for the next 7 minutes. And my apologies, everyone. We are running about 5 to 7 minutes late.
Right. Hi. Thank you very much, Peter. Am I coming across clearly enough?
You are perfect.
Excellent. Excellent. Right. As Peter has mentioned, I'm Derek from Worksheet Cloud. Welcome to this lion's den. And I trust that the cage is sturdy enough for for whatever might happen during the course of the next 6 minutes and 45 seconds. What are we at Learning Lab Apps good at doing? Now, without wanting to sound boastful, we know that we are good at creating questions, answers, and explanations based on the CAPS and IB curricula. It's as simple as that. Questions, answers, explanations. Right, with that in mind, Worksheet Cloud School Edition subscribers, and you could soon be one of them, have free access to just under 1,000 online video lessons. These lessons cover grades 1 to 9 in the subjects English, Maths, and Natural Science. We also, for grades 1 to 4, have Afrikaans, Wiskunde, en Natuurwetenskap. So that's bonus. The videos have been produced by expert teachers, fully qualified, and are freely available to subscribers of Worksheet Cloud School Edition. Here's a fact. These videos have been viewed by just over 3 million. They've had just over 3 million views in the past 4 months. So there's something bonus and free for you there as a Worksheet Cloud School Edition subscriber. But I'd like us now to consider and look at what Worksheet Cloud School Edition can do for you. You as a teacher, and I hope there are some of you out there watching this presentation. And can we solve one or more of the many problems that you encounter and face on a daily basis? How do you keep your learners meaningfully and appropriately engaged on their work or with their work when you are not there or are not available to them for whatever reason that might be? It might be because of COVID. It might be because you are giving attention to some other kids in the class. It might be that you are absent from school. And that's a dilemma many teachers face. And how can you keep them meaningfully engaged so that there is an improvement in their learning outcomes? Or as parents would say and prefer, an improvement in their marks. And this engagement is what Worksheet Cloud is about. Okay, we would like to say that by making use of Worksheet Cloud School Edition, your learners will have the opportunity of improving on their school results and marks. Okay, what exactly is the Worksheet Cloud School Edition? It is a web app and accessible from any internet-enabled device. So let's dive straight in, and I'm going to try and share a screen here. And it looks like I might be winning. And I trust, Peter, are you seeing the screen?
Yeah, we've got you.
You got us. Okay, all right. Okay, I've already logged into the product, and my school is Gezicht High. And I would select the grade that I want to have a look at, and just by way of example to see, because one of the questions you might have is in your mind, how much is covered by this? To what extent is the curricula covered by these worksheets? Well, let's have a quick squiz. Afrikaans, we have 80 odd worksheets. In English, we have just over 100 worksheets. In mathematics, this is grade 5, by the way. In mathematics, we have well over 100 worksheets. Natural sciences, we have just under 100. Social sciences, geography, we have about 50, 60. And finally, social sciences, history, we have, call it 50. So you can see that, firstly, the subjects that are covered in grades 4 to 9 are Afrikaans, English, mathematics, natural sciences, social sciences, geography, and social sciences, history. In grades 1, 2, and 3, we cover, Afrikaans, English, life sciences, and mathematics. So you can see that by way of example of that grade 5 set of worksheets, how much is actually covered. But now we want to have a look at how easy is it to access a worksheet, and what does a worksheet look like? So by way of example, I'm in grade 2, and I'm going to select English as my subject, and I'm going to go to phonics, and there's my list of phonics. I choose this worksheet here.
Sorry, Derek, while you're doing that, just so you know, your time is there or thereabouts done.
7 minutes.
Yeah.
Are you serious? Okay, all right. Okay, so here we have a worksheet for grade 2, and along with that worksheet would come I think, have I lost you there, Peter?
You have a big block up in front of your screen. It says something open, PDF.
Okay, all right. Okay. Let me, sorry.
No, but it's fine. But Derek, we are running
okay, I've got you now, right. So now we want to see the memorandum. So we click that, and there we go. And we have the memorandum. Do you have the memorandum in front of you there?
No, we've still got your screen. So it's,
is it that black block? Okay, all right. Unfortunately, that technology is not working due to Zoom. So you're unable to see the worksheets there. Right, we'll go to plan B. Okay, we'll now go to share the website. If I can get that correct, my goodness gracious.
Don't worry, Zoom is click on that. Maybe Derek, also if you just want to give schools next steps of if they want to
that's exactly what I'm going to do now, Pete. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, sorry about that. All right, I'm here at the website, which is Worksheet Cloud for Teachers.com. Worksheet Cloud for Teachers.com, and the next step is to click Get Started. Okay, and when you click Get Started, you'll notice that there are two plans. There's an individual edition plan, which is for individual teachers, and if you click there, request pricing, you would be shown that it's 900 Rand for your class for 1 year. Okay. However, if for the team edition, in other words, if there are more than one teacher at a school, a team of teachers or the entire staff, the pricing works out at R1.50 per learner per month. So what you need to do is to go to worksheetcloudforteachers.com, open the website, browse, click on the button, Get Started, and you'll have those two there. You would click and fill in a form, submit it, and we'll get back to you with further detail. So Worksheet Cloud is a web app accessible from any device, covering the CAPS and IB curricula. And Peter, I know my time is up and I'm flustered, and I can't actually believe that I've gone over time like this. So for less than R1 or R1.50 per learner per month, R1.50 per learner per month at your school, you can have access to thousands of worksheets, and as well as the videos that are available as a bonus. Thank you very much.
Derek, thank you. For anyone, if you want more info, I think there's a lot more that Derek can share. Pop onto onto the exhibitors booth, onto Worksheet Cloud. You can pick up the conversation with Derek. They have done some amazing stuff during lockdown with schools. So they're a company I can highly, highly recommend to check out. They have a passion for education. So Derek, thank you. I am now going to invite the team.
Thank you, Peter.
Cheers. I'm now going to invite the team
Peter.
from.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Derek. I'm going to invite the team from Promethean on board. And everyone, our apologies. Sorry, we are running late. I think we did our schedule a little bit too tight and then with the hiccups earlier. So thank you for bearing with us. Carlos, please pop on your screen when you are live. I think I'm just going to start by mentioning that Carlos and the team from Promethean are actually that board you can see in the background. It's not that it's that exact board, not that physical board, but one that looks like that. So that board could be hanging in your classroom in a couple of weeks. So I'm going to hand over to Carlos, who's going to explain. And then at the end, I'll remind everyone how to enter that competition. And then once again, our apologies about running late. Carlos, 7 minutes, the screen is yours.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much. So I will start my clock in here so that I can see what the time that I've got left. Promethean, you may know, you may not, but just in case, I will try to explain very briefly, is an educational company. First of it all, and that's the most important thing to mention, Promethean is an education company. It was funded by a teacher over 20 years ago. And ever since then, we've been developing technology in order to help teachers in their day-to-day professional life, trying to improve the quality of teaching and learning. That's the idea. That's why I'm here to tell you a little about what this is, how to use it, and what to expect from it. We're living through very complicated times. This whole pandemic situation has turned things upside down. And that's why I'm also going to turn my own speech upside down. So I mean, on a normal basis, I would tell you a few things. And then by the end of the presentation, I would probably open the box so that you could see the whole mechanism inside. I mean, I would show you backstage. I would show you what's in front of me. But I'm going to do it at the beginning of the speech in this case. I want you to know, I want to share with you the whole set that I've got in here so that you can see the camera, the PC, the lighting, all the things, because this is what the whole speech is all about. We're going to speak about the hybrid learning, what to expect from it, what you can do with it, and how it can make your life hopefully a little better. So I'm going to use this little camera in here, which is not part of a hybrid classroom, okay? But it's going to help me show you how I am doing what you are witnessing right now. So that's what I've got in front of me. It is true, and if I screen capture this, let me screen capture and add it to the whiteboard so that we can work better on it. What you can see is probably a mess. I mean, the image is not totally sharp, but I want you to focus on several things that I've got in here. And for the same reason, I want you to not take into consideration so many other things that I've got in here, like this musical instrument and so on. And that's why instead of this picture, I'm going to show you this other one, which will let you focus a little more in fundamental aspects of what we call a hybrid classroom, which is, first of all, I've got it behind me. You can see it, the active panel and interactive whiteboard, and that I can also use as a giant mobile phone or a tablet. But also in front of me, I've got this camera that now you can see in detail connected to a laptop PC in which I have installed a video conference application, such as Zoom, the one that we are using right now. These would be the fundamental elements of, let me delete that one. I'm going to eliminate all distractions and let me make it short list for you so that you know what I'm talking about. Active panel, PC and video conference application, which might be anyone that you fancy. I'm using Zoom right now, but it could be Meet, it could be Microsoft Teams, Skype, any other, okay? And camera. Oh. Then, last but not least, and about that I will tell you a little later on, screen share. Screen share is an application developed by Promethean which will allow us to share content. I mean, students can show on the screen of the panel in real time, whichever is showing on their own devices. And it doesn't matter if those students who want to mirror their devices are in front of us in the classroom or they're connected online from their homes. That's when the hybrid classroom concept starts to make sense, if you know what I mean. But, well, this whole solution, and especially the external camera is very important. I'm not going to use my laptop camera. I need a high quality camera because I need the image to be perfectly sharp so that people can see not only me, but whatever is happening on the board. I want them to see with as much detail as possible all the things that I'm interacting with. If it's Snapplify reader, or if it's a browser, or whatever it is. Oh, there I've got the browser. So then, good quality, it is important. Good quality in sound is also important. So an external camera will do the job perfectly well. Also, very important. I mean, I could always share. I can share the screen, of course, and eventually I will want to do that for my students, both online and the attendees, because it is important that they focus on whatever is happening here instead of me. But the general shot, I mean, the main shot will be this one, in which students can see me and my interaction with the panel. They can see both things. But the gestures and all the non-verbal language is not lost. Is still there. And that is very important also in the hybrid learning and the hybrid classroom concept as conceived by Promethean, because we think it is fundamental that students online feel as immersed as possible in the process, in the ongoing lesson. So we want to create that kind of immersive experience, and that's why an external camera is so important for us. Okay, we're running out of time. We've got a workshop right after this little show. So I'm going to finish my speech right now. I'm going to invite you all, if you fancy, if you're interested in knowing a little more, during the workshop, we're going to get a little deeper in all the possibilities, including the screen share application that I have not been able to show you because of lack of time. So you should probably have by now the link. If not, please look for it in the WOVA portal. In the community, you should have the teaching environment organized by Promethean, the teaching environment session organized by Promethean, so that you can join us for about 30 more minutes and therefore learn a little more about all these things that I'm telling you about. And I'm so sorry, I mean, I'm afraid I cannot continue because then otherwise this is going to go for worse. And the last of the panelists is probably going to kill us all.
That's fine. The good news is you are the last panelist, but I'm going to show and give steps on how people, first of all, can win that. So if you would like to win that, and it's amazing that Promethean has given this is an incredibly high value gift. What you need to do is download the app and visit 10 exhibitors. Please make sure one of them is at least Promethean. And on each exhibitor, check out what they have to offer, like their page, see what deals, offer, prizes they have. Remember, I think at least half of our, if not more of our exhibitors are giving away other prizes. So you can go check out those prizes on the exhibitor profile. So you just need to enter into their draw and then just write a comment, ask them a question, engage with them. If you go, and we've got about 30 odd exhibitors, if you go to at least 10, you are in for the prize, which we are going to draw tomorrow afternoon. So tomorrow we're going to find out who wins this. But Carlos, thank you. We love it when people give incredibly generous, amazing prizes. And what I'm going to do now is just quickly share my screen. I just want to show you how you can jump onto some of those meetups. Carlos, thank you. So I am going to share my screen. So if you pop into your agenda, if you're on your mobile phone, you can do the same thing. So if you go into the actual agenda on today, it should automatically show up at the bottom. You can see our optional roundtable discussions and workshops. And if you view here, you'll see what's available. So these are smaller group discussions where you can engage, where you can talk. So you've got right at the top here, your school's digital journey, explore Cambridge, Elevate and Hot Maths. The Oxford Reading Safari, so that's with Elizabeth, who shared earlier, if you'd like more. Building a reading community and running literacy. So this is with Snapplify, so just if you want more on what they had to offer for you and your classroom. Cool tips and tricks from Teacher. So Jean's platform that he is linked with is Teacher, so you can check that out. They've got some amazing stuff just to help you as teachers, so please jump onto that. And then here's the active panel, so that's the Promethean board. So if you have more questions, if this could be a solution for your school and you'd like to find out more from price, installation, how it actually works, please jump into that. We've got some stuff on maths lessons, research and technology behind MindSpark. So there's a lot happening. If you are on your mobile device, the best is actually to click on community and then on meetups, which is the third item that shows, and you can jump onto those. So everyone, that is us for today. Our apologies, running late. We had a bit of a curveball. The good news is we have a speaker plan for tomorrow on the Google Tour Builder that Rob couldn't do. We'll make sure he's all right. If he's 100% better, he'll join us. Otherwise, we do have another person in place already, which is good news. Just a reminder, into the poll, if you'd like to win a Take a Lot voucher, 1,000 Rand for you, not for the school. Jump in on the passport competition by visiting the different stands, and you could win that Promethean board. And like us on social media, and you could also win a 1,000 Rand voucher. We'll see you tomorrow. We have a jam-packed day lined up. We actually have a speaker from the US, a teacher, who's going to be sharing for 10 minutes. And then we're going to go into the Google Tour Builder section, and then after that, the Lion's Den pitch. So please jump onto the roundtables, and thank you for joining us. Cheers, everybody.